where there are some plants that has either only the male reproductive organ or only the female reproductive organ. There are some plants that don't possess. I think pawpaw is one of the plants that is unisexual. Pawpaw plants is one of the plants that are unisexual. They do not possess male and female. They possess just one. When you're seeing a pawpaw plant, it's having either just the male reproductive or female reproductive. So that situation where a plant or a flower possesses only one reproductive organ, we call that condition unisexuality. Why does it aid cross-pollination? Remember, we're talking about the conditions, right? Why does it aid cross-pollination? It aids cross-pollination now because it cannot undergo self-pollination. It cannot undergo self-pollination. It must have to get pollinated by a different plant. Why? Because it is unisexual. And its ability to be unisexual is what we call unisexuality. Are we on the same page or are we on different pages?
On the same page. On the same page.
Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear? Was
Yes,
that well understood?
Sir, please come again.
No. I have a question, sir.
Okay, I'll come again. And after we come again, we'll take your question.
Ask your question, though.
We are talking about unisexuality. I say that a flowering plant possesses both the male reproductive organ and the female reproductive organ. Nevertheless, there are some plants that possess only one reproductive organ, which is either just the male or just the female. So the ability of those plants to possess only one reproductive organ, that is what we call unisexuality. The ability of a flowering plant to possess either just male reproductive organ or just female reproductive organ. Is that clearer now?
Yes, sir.
Is that clearer now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, someone wants to ask a question. Okay, let's hear your question. Someone wants to ask question, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I want to ask question.
Okay, Faye, let's hear your question.
You said pawpaw is an example of unisexual plants.
Yes, pawpaw is an example of unisexual plant.
Which
right?
Says is he male or female?
So it depends. It's a unisexual plant in the sense that you will see this pawpaw leaf, you will see this pawpaw plant. You may see 3 pawpaw plants in a plantation. This pawpaw plant A contains just male reproductive organ. Pawpaw plant B contains just female reproductive organ. Pawpaw plant C may contain either just male or just female. So when they cross-pollinate, that is when their fertilization takes place.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Full pawpaw.
So what of a situation whereby there's only one pawpaw, maybe only a male pawpaw?
In a pawpaw plantation,
Yes, sir.
if it is a pawpaw plantation, then it is obviously going to be more than one. But if it is not a pawpaw plantation where there is just one, that is where man comes in as an agent of pollination. Because obviously there will now be a situation where there will be agricultural practices that will be carried out by man, which we talked about when we made emphasis on vegetative reproduction. That action of man will now enhance fertilization. And the situation where the action of man gives rise to another offspring, there can be tendency of that other offspring having a reproductive organ different from the already existing one. You get that?
Yes, sir.
Any other question? Now going to the next one.
It seems I'm going to it.
Go. Is someone saying something?
No, go on, sir.
All right.
Sir, does it mean that if there is
right
Sir,
on, let's read it.
does it mean that if there's only one purpose,
Why
if there's only one purpose in a place,
I didn't get the question.
if there is only one purpose in a place, that means
Okay.
that's the only tree that will stay. We cannot use to any other one around, right? The way
on its own.
The way plants, for example, let's say yam, when it's growing, sir, please go on. I'm listening to you.
You can't hear it.
I think the network is bad, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the network is bad.
Her network is not good.
Okay, no problem. We'll take from her when she comes back. Finally, we have the self-sterility. We have the self-sterility. When we're talking about the self-sterility, this name explains itself. Self-sterility. Can someone make an attempt in your own understanding? What do you understand by the word or the condition self-sterility? Can someone make an attempt? I feel it's self-explanatory. Self-sterility. I just need an attempt from just one person. Self and then being sterile. Any attempts?
Sir, from my understanding, I think not being able to produce, right?
You see, they call
Not being able to produce, I mean.
him. Okay,
Sir.
let's just
Okay, sir, let me add something to it. It's just the inability of plants to fertilize itself.
inability. Do you think
Like
it's the inability? Do you think it's inability?
Yes, sir. The inability of organism, especially plants, to fertilize itself.
No. So the ability of plant to fertilize itself. Yes.
Good. Now I understand where
Fertilize.
Israel urges explanation is coming from. Lulu, don't worry. Just mute your mic, okay? Let me just take this. Mute your mic. Thank you for trying to make the attempt. You will take my next question, okay? Thank you. Gideon, please, your mic. Now, if in a situation, Jimmy is asking the question, if there's only one purpose to fertilize, I think we've answered that, right? It can still fertilize, but it has to do with human activities. Now, if we are talking about self-sterilization, there's something we call self-sterilization. We are talking about the self-sterility, Self-sterility can actually have something to do with inability of a cell to fertilize itself or to be sterile on its own. But when it comes to the pollination of flowers, and we're talking about self-sterility, we are talking about the ability of a flower to fertilize itself or to make itself sterile. That's the ability of the flower to make itself sterile. That's the presence of pollens on the stigma. Let's take for instance now a situation where a flower withers and dies. A flower withers and dies, and when it withers and dies, you'll think that the flower is dead and completely gone, but then again, there can still be an ability of the plant, regardless of any factor or any agent, to still give rise to another one, to other offsprings of same species on its own without being facilitated by any agent. It does it on its own, and when it's giving rise to itself, it can give rise to more than one particular flower at that very moment. It has withered and died, remember, and it is still giving rise, or it is still maturing, regardless, on that same spot, or on that same land, or on that same portion of the soil, without any agents coming to play. So situation like that, that is what we call self-sterility. So it's the ability of plants to get sterile on their own without being facilitated by any pollinators. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I have a question.
Okay, let's hear you.
Sir, please, can you state the advantage and disadvantage of cross-pollination and self-pollination?
I think that's what we're supposed to be having on the slide now. That's the next slide. That's the next slide. The advantages, the disadvantages. Normally, we have the advantages and disadvantages of pollinations. If we're talking about self-pollinations and we're talking about cross-pollinations, each one has its advantages and disadvantages. Where is that? Okay, I don't have that of self-pollination here. For both cross-pollination and self-pollination, they all have their own advantages. Now, let's quickly look at the advantages of self-pollination. I think someone said I have a question.
Yes. The other one.
Okay, let's hear you so that before we get.
Sir, is self-sterility the same thing with self-incompatibility?
English, oh.
I didn't hear you. I just said English.
In my modern biology textbook, I can see self-incompatibility here. So I'm asking if it is the same thing with self-sterility.
Yeah, you mean self-sterility and self-compatibility.
Right. Self-incompatibility. Incompatibility.
No, when what is the same with self-sterility is self-compatibility. Self-sterility and self-sterility and self-compatibility are the same. Self-incompatibility can be said to be the same with cell-sterility. Cell, C-E-double-L. Is that clear?
Okay, so I understand.
So when we're talking about self-sterility, you can refer that to the self-compatibility. So let's quickly look at the advantages of self-pollination. I have that of cross-pollination here on my screen. So let's look at that of self-pollination. Some of the advantages we have for self-pollination, that is flowers that reproduce itself. Flower anchor to the stigma of the same flower. Some of the advantages is that one, it doesn't waste pollen grains.
Sir, I didn't get you. You said anther and stigma of the same flower.
We are talking about advantages of self-pollination.
So, but what we have here is cross-pollination now.
Yes, I said the part of self-pollination is not on my screen. I have that of cross-pollination here. I'm supposed to have that of self-pollination before this. But because I mistakenly missed it out, I would want you to notice now, at least even if we don't do this, it's here on my screen and it is all self-explanatory because I used the simplest English you can get understand with. But for that of self-pollination, its advantages, some of its few advantages. One, it does not waste pollen grains. You know, in a situation where we are talking about cross-pollination now, by the time a bird, for instance, carries 20 pollen grains from the anther of this flower A to the stigma of flower B, there are very, very, very high tendency is that while it flies, it drops some of those pollen grains, and those pollen grains it drops have been wasted before it gets to the stigma of a different flower. Just the ones remaining in its beak will be dropped inside the stigma or the mature or immature stigma around the flower. But in self-pollination, it's from that of one flower to the other of the same flower, so there will be no tendencies of wasting the pollen grain. So the advantage of self-pollination is that it does not waste pollen grain, and it is a surest way of pollination. Example, it is the surest means of pollination for flowers. It is the surest pollination medium for flowers, self-pollination, because by the time pollen grain is being moved from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower, there can be tendencies or possibilities that will make the pollination not to be successful. But in self-pollination, there is a high tendency of it being successful. So these are the major advantages of self-pollination. Two major advantages of self-pollination. There are no wastage of pollen grains, and it is a surer medium of pollination. Now, looking at the disadvantages, are we still together?
Yes, sir.
Looking at
Yes,
looking at self-pollination, the disadvantages of self-pollination, it leads to production of weak offsprings. It leads to production of weak offsprings. Because there is always constant pollination from the same flower, constant pollination of the same flower. At some point, they tend to lose their traits. Sorry, they don't tend to lose their traits. At some point, they tend to have weaker traits. And when they're having any weaker phenotypes or weaker characteristics, when they're having these weak characteristics, it affects the offsprings. That is one disadvantage of self-pollination. But when it is cross-pollination, there is stronger tendency of having stronger offsprings, because the characteristics of this flower might have some difference from that of the other flower, and the both of them tend to work together in forming the new offspring that will be stronger. Now, another disadvantage of self-pollination is that most of the time the offsprings do not comfortably adapt to the environment. Most of the time the offsprings do not comfortably adapt to the environment. Unlike cross-pollination, the offsprings tend to have stronger adaptive features. If you are noting down what I'm saying for self-pollination, and at the same time looking at my screen and seeing that of cross-pollination, you will see that they are just the opposite of each other. So these are the two. I just gave you two major disadvantages of self-pollination and two major advantages of self-pollination as well. And on my screen, we have 4 advantages of cross-pollination. That is the production of healthier offspring, production of viable fruits, offspring have stronger adaptive features, production of new varieties with good characteristics, because there are more than one flowers involved. And then disadvantages, they rely on external agents. It has to wait for
Sir,
the rain.
admin is notifying you, sir. Admin is notifying you that it's time for this class.
All right, thank you for that. So these are disadvantages of cross-pollination. It relies on external agents and also wastage of pollen grain by wind. So this is what we call it tonight. When we come tomorrow, we will start from placentation in flowering plants, after which we get to production in mammals. So this is what we call it tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation tonight. See you all tomorrow and have a good night.
Good night.
All right, good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night.